Welcome back to Mama's Talk Relationships. I am Lisa Miller.
And I am Alessandra Martinet.
Are you ready to dive into another episode about love, loss, and everything in between after divorce?
I am so ready.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today, we are going to talk about things that we wish we knew when we were going through divorce. Because there's a lot of women out there that are going through it or just found out about it. And it's like, now what?
Right. Or
But,
thinking about it.
or is thinking about it. But
Yeah.
before we dive into all that, if you are enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe wherever you listen. Lisa, do you have anything else to add?
No, we're just so happy for you guys all to be here. If you're needing extra support, you can reach out to either one of us. I am at lisamiller.coach. I almost said .com. and Alison, go ahead.
I'm at Mama's Guide to Divorce.
All
Okay,
on
so let's
Instagram.
dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think the first thing I would like to tell people is it's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay. But let's just say a little caveat to that. It 100% will be okay, but how long it takes you to be okay is a choice and it's up to you.
100%. I
So
agree.
people ask me what I mean by that all the time. And just to kind of dive into that a little bit, it's just time does not heal all wounds. That's a lie. It's what we do with the time. So if you don't actually take time to heal, to look in the mirror and see what your part was in all this, where maybe you have some trauma in your body that needs love and attention, then the heartbreak, and there's heartbreak whether you wanted this or not,
Mhm.
will last way, way longer. So that's what I mean by that. So I mean, I think just to kind of piggyback on that, you're going to find a strength that you never knew you had. I clearly remember thinking, I am not strong enough to get
I,
divorced. Like, I'm going to break.
yeah. Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be a single mom at home,
Mhm.
just the three of us? I never thought I could do it. And now I love this life.
How am I going to survive? Like, just like the day to day of the heartbreak and trying to be a mom. And I was working full time. There was so much on my plate. I was just frazzled day in and day out. But we are here as your guiding light, per usual, to show you that you will get through it. There is a strength inside of you that you don't even know. As moms, oh, mama, like, there is something inside of us that we dig into, and it just is like, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna figure it
You don't
out,
know
and
how, but you make it happen.
you will.
But yeah, and I think if you're going through it, you need to reframe and look at it not as the end of something, but as a new beginning.
I love that.
So you could think that everything is falling apart, but everything is really falling into place and your life can be so beautiful.
And I know that that's really hard to see in this moment if you are just finding out, if you have just decided, if you just have started this divorce process, or if you've been in it for a while and you're just like, is this ever going to end? It's hard to think like there's beauty after the storm. But let me tell you, sister, there's so much beauty if you allow it to be. And that's where free will comes into play.
Mhm. And you get to just create a new version of yourself
Yeah. I always say
from
a better
this.
version. We get to love the person we were and accept the person we were. And then we get to grow and evolve and just become more you, more authentic. And most of the time, what I see working with so many people, hundreds at this point, is you fall more in love with yourself, which is so beautiful because you're like, oh, like this person who I'm becoming, you let all the things that you didn't like. I had a client say to me the other day, divorce humbled her. She's like, I'm less
Mhm.
judgmental. I'm more open minded. I take a moment before I react. Those are things she all did. And she's like, I didn't like those parts of me. So she got to say goodbye to them and enter in a new version.
My gosh, I can so resonate with that because one of the biggest takeaways I have from my divorce is I will never judge what someone decides to do at the end of their marriage, because I decided that I wanted to work on it despite on what had happened. I will never judge someone unless I walk in their shoes. It really that was a big change for me as a result of my divorce.
And I think just having the knowing that we don't actually know what's going on in someone's house unless you're living it.
Percent. Another thing we want to let you ladies know is that your kids are going to be okay. They really
Mm,
will.
yeah.
I know a lot
They,
of people think, oh, my kid's going to get all screwed up. They're going to be
yeah,
okay.
kids will be okay if you're okay. So I think it's really important not to fake it in front of them. Like it's okay for them to see you sad. It's okay to let them see you have real emotions. You're human, you're having a human experience, like you're allowed to move through it just like they are. But if you're happy, that gives them permission to be happy. So just remember that, kids don't need a married mom, they need a happy mom.
So true. So true.
And they will thrive. They absolutely will. I mean, if you look at both just Alessandra and my kids, and we're on two different coasts, we have two different experiences. All five of our kids, there's five kids between the two of us. They're all thriving and super happy, great kids with great friends. Kids thrive through divorce if we allow them to.
And we also put our kids at the forefront of everything.
Meaning we don't put them in the middle of our
Hmm.
exes and our bullshit or emotional roller coaster or whatever we may have going on. They're not a part of that. And that's what allows them to just be kids.
Another thing is when you're going through the divorce, don't make any decisions based on emotions. This is a really highly emotional time in your life, but making a major decision during that time and just like off the cuff is a no-no. You have to take the time to think things through logically. And the negotiation part of the divorce, it's a business transaction. It doesn't matter who did what, like if someone cheated or if someone wasn't all in the marriage, that part doesn't matter. You just have to make it a business transaction and take the emotional part out of it.
Somebody gave me great advice when I was going through my divorce, and they said, for the first 2 years, don't make any major moves, meaning don't move your house, don't sell your house, don't buy a new car, don't do anything major because you're not in the right mind. Don't, yeah, I think those are like the major ones. Oh.
Mhm. Yeah. And
So,
you know
yeah,
what? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have those moments of weakness.
I think it's so important to have a village, have your community, have your support system. And this is the time you go to them and you have them around, whether it be your friends, your family, therapist, a coach, whatever it is, all of the above. Make sure you have a really strong, solid, safe space for you to go because this is a emotional ride you're on for a little while. You're not on it forever. I think that's also really important to note. You're not on this ride
No, it's not
forever.
forever.
It will end, but while you're there and while you're on it, having the right core people in place will be a game changer.
Yeah, and that also means you have to take care of yourself and take
Always.
time to do things for yourself. And I remember when I first learned about my divorce, I wasn't eating or working out. And it was like horrible. I looked horrible. I felt horrible. So take the time out to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and I think lastly, and this is really, really important, I'm going to say two things. You deserve to be happy. No matter if you're the one who wanted the divorce or didn't want the divorce, you deserve to be happy. Own that. Keep that as your why. As I deserve to be happy. Your kids deserve to be happy. And you're never too old to start over. I don't think you're too old to find love again, to be happy again, to do whatever it is that you want to create in your life. But just know that, like, if this is where you're at, you're gonna be okay and love yourself through it.
All right, mamas, we're nearing the end of another episode of Mamas Talk Relationships. As always, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll be back next week with another insightful, informative, and hopefully entertaining episode on navigating dating and relationships after divorce.